Lake Tahoe, everyone. Gorgeous. Hey crew, I've got the key to that 22 Kia Telluride. We are going to take it for a drive, but first, this review is going to be a bit different because it's pretty well established at this point that the Telluride is a fantastic three-row SUV. It's won a ton of awards. Kia can't seem to make enough of them. So instead, I'll just attempt to answer the question, why do people love this SUV so much? We'll start with the styling, and first with that updated badge, which is a real piece of aluminum. It now looks modern. It's something that owners can be proud of. This Telluride has the Nightfall edition, so blacks out a lot of the details. That single frame grille, super wide, gives the SUV a solid stance. I know for 23 they updated the bumpers and the headlights and some stuff on the interior, but it doesn't change the recipe too much. I do think, however, that they should have left the DRLs alone. These orange DRLs are so distinctive, you could really pick out a Telluride on the road. The wheels of the Nightfall edition are blacked out 20 inches, and I like the design a lot. It's a very rally-esque look to it. Stepping back to look at the profile, Kia isn't trying to break the mold here. It's boxy, but it's clean, looks refined. At the back, probably my least favorite view of the SUV. It doesn't ruin the aesthetic by any means. It just doesn't quite have the same polish as the front and side views. Kia offers some great colors for the Telluride. I love the dark green or this wolf gray that looks milky, but with some nice metallic flake to it. People dig the utility. You can tow up to 5,000 pounds for 22 or 5,500 pounds for 23 with some of the off-road oriented trims. Overall, the Telluride just has this upscale look in a mainstream segment that attracts a wide variety of shoppers. Let's look at the interior now. Opening up and looking inside at this SX Prestige top of the line trim with so many amenities that have totally won over Telluride buyers. For example, perforated Nappa leather seats in the second row with contrast stitching, heating, and ventilation. Vented seats in the second row, something you may not even find in some luxury SUVs. We also have sunshades, and you get a Harman Kardon sound system. There's easy access to the third row with a single button press. It's a wide entry point, so you don't have to contort your body. I've moved this seat into the furthest back position to accommodate our car seat, which still leaves plenty of leg and headroom for the front right passenger, and still leaves the third row passengers with legroom. I'm at 6 feet tall. I still have an inch of knee room. There are foot pockets, of course, with the captain's chair set up. I can lounge. My head clears the roof, if only just barely, but it is a pass, and it's brushing against a suede-wrapped headliner. You've got air vents here, USB ports, reclining third row. This is the upright position. This is the recline position. Moving into the second row, just in case there was an extremely tall third row passenger, I slid this seat all the way forward to show that I still have knee clearance behind my own driving seat. There are large foot pockets to reduce the knee angle. I have great thigh support and much more generous headroom here. 2 cup holders, DC outlet, AC outlet, USB ports on the back of each seat, hooks for hats or bags, slots for smartphones. When I recline the seat and slide it all the way back, I am lounging. There's a third zone of climate. I'm more than impressed with not only the features, but the engineering of the space in the second and third row. Let's check out the front. Door close noise. Deep thud of quality. Love it. The front seats, no surprise, they're heated and ventilated like the second row. The driver's seat has 4-way lumbar and 2-position memory. Power adjustments for the front 2 seats, some ambient lighting in the cabin at night. 4 one-touch windows are here, power adjusting and power folding door mirrors. Hold that button to release the tailgate or kick the sensor underneath the bumper. Inside, the Telluride offers some class-leading cargo space. Figures 21 cubic feet behind the third row. There's a deep cubby down here. I can fit my backpack. Pull the straps forward to send down the third row seats. 60-40 split folding. 46 cubic feet of space when you do that. If there wasn't a car seat installed, I would also hit these buttons to send that second row seats folding flat for a total of 87 cubic feet of space. I know it's asking for a lot, but it would be cool if you could also power raise the second row in addition to sending it down. I'd also like a power lock on the tailgate. In the front seats, we've got the vehicle in accessory mode now. There's a heated leather wrap steering wheel, feels great in the hands. Digital TFT display between two analog gauges for 22, but for 23, that becomes a fully digital instrument cluster within the same housing as a 12.3-inch touchscreen infotainment system. Here we've got the 10-inch display, and it is very easy to use. With Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, they're just not wireless. Even for the 23 model year, they stuck with the wired connection. It's one of the only peculiarities to this cabin, that and the use of gloss black for the console that collects dust, smudges, and scratches. Otherwise, the leather-wrapped gear selector feels great. There's a wireless smartphone charging pad. You get 2 USB ports, both USB-A's. Would be nice to see one USB-C. DC outlet there, cup holders, deep console storage, leather padding for the armrest. I like that they stuck with some physical inputs to reduce driver distraction. Visibility is tops, plus their standard blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic and available blind spot cameras. I can see why people are wowed by this cabin. The material quality, the amenities, the use of space, it bubbles the Telluride up to the top of the segment. Let's take it for a drive now. All right, let's fire it up. Cool animation on the TFT and on the head-up display. Meanwhile, the V6 moved quickly into a purr. Our drive modes are down here. You can see we've got Comfort, Sport, Smart, Eco, and Snow. Plus you can lock the center differential by pressing down on that button. Won't mess with that or the Snow setting today. We will start out in Comfort. Press in and pull back on the gear selector to prompt a adequate resolution backup camera system. We do have trajectory lines, bird's eye view off to the right, a few different camera angles to choose from. And let's get to scooting. We'll start things off with a turning radius test. Solid. No extra space wasted. And the world famous horn test? What happens there? Oh, so light. Not wanting to disturb anyone. Turn signal sound. Oh, that's so pleasant. The powertrain in the 22 Telluride, it's the same across all trims. It's been the same across all model years, even into the 23 model year. We've got a 3.8 liter V6. It makes 291 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. That is connected to an 8-speed automatic gearbox. And in SX all-wheel drive form, it sends power to all 4 tires. Even in Comfort and Eco, where the throttle response is softened a touch, the throttle can still be on the perkier side. So have a good measure with your right foot. But that does give the vehicle an eagerness. Easy to regulate that brake pedal pressure. So you come to smooth stops. The perkiness of that throttle response doesn't seem to unsettle the transmission. It's smooth in the way it moves between the gears. The ride quality is on the firmer side of this segment. The seat comfort keeps you at ease, but when you go over those bumps, you do feel them. It's not enough to disrupt the at-ease driving nature of the Telluride, though. You can settle into this SUV and cruise comfortably. Look at that. Lake Tahoe, everyone. Gorgeous. There's this sense of well-built here. Everything about what the Telluride does, its road manners, are assured. The steering is light, yet it's easy to point the Telluride. It's not busy staying in the center of the lane. We do get some of that tire noise and a brush of wind noise. Yet I would say it remains on the quieter sides of this segment. I've been in some of its competitors, and it was like I was in a storm. The Telluride has this layer of refinement to it that the suspension tuning just needs to be tweaked to match. If extra sportiness is required, we can go into the sport drive mode. And the transmission certainly isn't in a hurry to downshift, even when you put your foot all the way to the floor. As you get to the higher part of the rev range, the V6 moves from lazy to alert. But it never exactly approaches quick. At least not in the mid-range. But let's try a dig to 60 miles per hour and see how it does. There it is. Kia says they'll do it in about 7 seconds. We had a slight uphill there, but I want to say that was probably 7.5. Not urgent. You get there if you give yourself the time. I think that the Telluride has enough power getting up to speed on the highway or making a passing maneuver. You just may have to plot those moves a few extra seconds in advance. Now, if someone were tempted, and I'm not quite sure why, but they were tempted to take over manual control, then they could move over the gear selector to the left. There aren't paddles to change the gears. You have to pull down to go down, which is intuitive. Sometimes you have to go up to go down, so I prefer this. And the gear changes aren't painfully slow. It does not want to let you redline, no surprise there. So by the time I was moving into the upshift, it had already changed gear for me. If I wanted to force it and upshift a little early, then like the downshifts, you don't have to wait too long. But my advice is just to leave it in auto mode and understand that the Telluride is not a performance vehicle. It will get up to speed. You just have to practice some patience. And if you're driving the Telluride all the time with your foot to the floor, you're not going to be doing yourself any favors in terms of fuel economy. Though this vehicle, let's go into eco mode as we're talking about this. Though this vehicle is rated at 19 mpg in the city, 24 on the highway, and 21 combined, I have found that driven normally, which is perhaps a little bit quicker than the average person, I'm seeing 19 mpg combined from a mix of highway and city driving. Not amazing. Its competitors do have better ratings. Speaking of competition, there's quite a few options. There are quite a few options in the three-row mainstream segment. Two of the biggies. We've got the Honda Pilot and the Toyota Highlander. The starting figure for the Telluride is $34,000 for the LX trim. If you want the SX, that's $44,000. If you want the SX Prestige, like we have here, that's $47,000 or just under. This vehicle right here, fully kitted out, I don't think there's a single option you can add to it, is $50,000. Compare that to the Honda Pilot that starts at about $39,000 but peaks at $53,000 for the Pilot Black Edition. It makes 295 horsepower, gets to 60 in around 6.7 seconds. The fuel economy in all-wheel drive version is 22 combined, and the cargo space isn't as much as this vehicle. Then there's the Highlander, which starts at $37,000 but peaks in Platinum trim at $49,000. In fact, actually, that's not the peak. You can get the Platinum Hybrid for even more money. And that vehicle makes 295 horsepower. It gets to 60 in 6.7 seconds like the Pilot. The fuel economy is 27 combined in all-wheel drive form, and the cargo space, again, is not as much as the Telluride. The Pilot comes in strong with great build quality and excellent ride quality. I want to say it's got the best ride of any vehicle in the three-row mainstream space. The Highlander, meanwhile, has, especially in hybrid form, just incredible fuel economy and, that Toyota reliability. And if those attributes are most important to you, you're not going to be disappointed with those SUVs. I just understand now why people are so infatuated with the Telluride. It's like they thought of just about everything. It's stylish to look at, it's got incredible amenities, it's spacious, it's comfortable. If it has a few hiccups, the fuel economy could be a bit better. It could have a little more low range power and maybe wireless Apple CarPlay. I mean, nothing is a deal breaker in this SUV. Everything just feels either good or great. I hope you guys have enjoyed this POV drive review and that view. If you did, please like, comment, and share the video. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell to get notified, and I'll see you next time.